Okay, Finding Nemo movie study. Before we start, actually, who has their movie study packet or booklet? Did anyone's mom or dad print out your movie study booklet? If you don't have it yet, please ask mom or dad to print it out because it's going to be very helpful as we are talking about Finding Nemo. You can follow along in your booklet and you can write things down. And this is going to help you to learn more about the movie. And it's going to help you follow along with the characters and with the events better. Okay, so ask mom and dad to print out if they have not already. If you do have the booklet, please follow along in it. If you don't, then that's okay. Just ask mom and dad to print it out. Harry Kane, we are only going to talk about the first 15 minutes of the video today. So it's fine that you only watched half of it. All right, so let's talk about our director. The director is the person who, when they're making the movie, they're the person that says, I want this character to look this way. I want this character to look like this. I want this character needs to be funnier. They're saying how they want the movie to be. Okay? They control everything that's being made or being done with the movie. Okay, so our director is Andrew Stanton. And our genre, remember, is what kind of movie is this? Or what kind of story is it? So there's a few different genres that this movie falls into. We have animation, right? Because Maradona, are we showing real pictures of people and animals or just drawings of them?
Real.
Real. Look at this cover here. Are these real animals?
Drawing.
Okay, they're drawing. So this is an animated movie. It's not real. It's animation. Okay, someone has drawn these characters. And it's also a comedy. Comedy is meant to make you laugh, something that is funny. Okay, so there's parts of in this movie that are funny. The family film. It's good to watch with your entire family. And it's an adventure film. The characters in this movie go on an adventure. Okay, so we're going to watch more about what kind of adventure they go on later as we watch more of this movie. Okay, so quickly, story elements. We have our characters. So characters are the people or animals in a story. Okay, so as you watch the movie, I want you to think of who are the different characters in our movie? What roles do they play? Who's an important character? Who's like medium important and who's just there, like not so important, just on the side. Okay, we also have our setting. Ronaldo, do you remember what the word setting means in a story?
The space.
Mm-hmm. Where and when the story takes place. So where is our story and when is this happening? So actually, let's see. Chang'an, where does this story take place?
They take place in the ocean.
In the ocean. So this is an ocean story. So as we watch more of our movie, we're going to see if there's another setting that we can think of or that we can see. So pay attention to where the story takes place. Okay, we also have our plot. The plot are the events in the story. What happens in this movie? And we have a beginning, which we're watching now, or if you haven't already, you'll watch the beginning this afternoon, the middle, and the end. Okay, so let's talk about our characters. So in most stories, we have a main character. Okay, the main character is normally in the title of the story or in the movie in this case. Okay, and the main character is the one who is affected by the events or the plot in the story. Okay, so whatever happens in the story is going to affect our main character. So what we know so far, or what we can tell from the title, Myth, who do you think our main character is going to be in this story?
It's Nemo.
Nemo is going to be our main character because the movie's called Finding Nemo. Okay,
Finding Nemo.
Yes, Nemo is going to be the one who's affected by all of the events in this story. Okay. And then we have our protagonist. The protagonist is normally the good guy or the hero, the person who saves the day. The protagonist is going to be the character who moves the story along. He's the one or she's the one who goes on the adventure and moves the plot or the events and the story along. So sometimes our protagonist and our main character are going to be the same character, but I think in this story, Finding Nemo, they're going to be two different characters. Okay, and then we're going to find that out later. So then we also have the antagonist. Our antagonist is typically the bad guy. Okay, it's the person who we have our conflict or our problem with. Okay, so think as we're watching, who's moving the story along, who's going on our adventure, and which character do we have a problem with, or does the main character have a problem with, or conflict? Okay, when we're talking about plot, there's going to be a problem. If there's no problem in a story, then it will be boring. Who cares about watching an entire movie about a day that's just fine? What do you think, Lisa? Would you want to watch a 2-hour movie about someone's day and it's just fine? The whole day is just fine?
It's boring.
Is that boring? Who cares, right? No, we need a problem. You want something juicy, an issue. You need conflict in our story. Okay, so problem is what makes the story interesting, and we normally see that problem in the beginning or middle of our story. And then we have a solution. Okay, solution, how is the problem resolved? How can we fix our problem or conflict? Okay, so when we're talking about plot or the events in a story, we can look at a little mountain line like this, a little curved line that goes up and down. Okay, so the first part of our mountain is going to be the beginning. Okay, so the beginning of our story is where we introduce the characters and the setting. So we've already said the setting is the ocean. And Jenna, have you watched the movie yet?
No.
No? Okay. Do you know maybe who the characters are in our story?
Nemo.
Nemo's going to be a character. Okay. Isha, have you watched the first part of the movie yet?
What a half.
Okay. So which characters did you see in the beginning of the movie?
Nemo's dad.
Nemo and Nemo's dad. Okay. So this is where the beginning of our story is where we introduce our characters, or at least some of our characters, and our setting. So we're definitely going to figure out who's the main character at the beginning of our story. Right? And then we have our rising action. So as the movie goes along, it gets more interesting, right? We start to see the problem. We maybe get introduced to new characters. And then we have our climax. So the climax in a story is going to be the most dramatic or interesting part of the story. Okay, so this is where all of the excitement takes place, the climax. Okay, it's when the problem, maybe the characters are fighting, or it's just going to be the most dramatic, most interesting, most exciting part of the story. And then after that, we have our falling action. We have our most interesting part, and then we start going down towards how can we solve this problem. Our resolution is at the end. Okay, so falling action is working to find a solution for our problem. And then the end is how did we solve our problem? So I want you to think about this while you're watching the movie. Okay, so at the beginning, we know our characters and our setting, and then do we see a problem yet? What problem do we see as we're watching it? Lily, have you seen a problem in our story yet?
What?
Did you watch the movie?
Yes.
Yes?
I
But what?
yes. But I forgot most.
Okay, that's okay. So when you watch this afternoon, I want you to think, what problem is happening during this movie? So Sophia, that's okay, because we're only talking today and tomorrow about the first 15 minutes or first 20 minutes of the movie. So you don't need to have watched the whole movie yet. Okay, so you're going to watch it in parts. You're going to watch the first 40 minutes this afternoon at 2 o'clock. And then I think tomorrow you're going to watch another 40 minutes of it. Okay? So don't worry if you've not seen the whole thing. No problem. Okay, so these are our characters. You're going to see more of them. As you're watching the movie, I want you to have your movie study booklet out with you. And as you see the characters, I want you to write the names of them as you go along. Okay, and we can check these tomorrow. So get your mom or dad to print the booklet and then write down the names of the characters as you watch. Okay, and we'll talk more about them tomorrow. So let's also look at some character traits. So these are some adjectives or describing words that we can use to talk about characters. Okay, so I'm gonna enable annotations. If there's a word here, take a minute, look at all of these words. If there's a word here that you don't know the meaning of, please circle it, or you can type it into the chat. Okay, so annotations enabled. Go ahead and circle, highlight, or type out the words that you are not sure about the meaning. And then we'll go over them. And make sure if you are looking at a word, see, is this a prefix or a suffix that I have learned before? What's the base word? And what is the prefix or suffix? And see if you can think of the meaning on your own. If you're still not sure, go ahead and circle. And I can tell you more about them. Okay, we'll go over some of them. I don't know if we'll have time. If we have some extra time at the end, we can come back and do more of them.
I only circle the small one.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to stop everyone right there because I can see. Okay, so all right, when we have adventurous, so let's look at our base word in adventurous. Let's see. Angtom, what is the base word in adventurous? Adventure.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. So adventure is our base word. That means going outside, doing fun things, doing new things. That's adventure. And us, the suffix us, O-U-S, means full of. So a person who's adventurous, they're full of adventure. They like going on adventures. They like doing new things, exciting things, going on hikes, going to the ocean, trying something new. Okay, when you are aggressive, means when you're angry, you yell really loudly, or you maybe use your hands to like push someone or push something, or you hit. You're very aggressive. You use your hands and your words, loud words, when you're angry. Okay. Ambitious is when you want something and then you make it happen. Say, I want to buy I don't know, what do we want to buy? I want to buy a new toy, but I don't have any money. So I'm going to go to all my neighbors. I'm going to ask them if there's any jobs that I can do, and then they'll pay me. And then you go and you do that, and you make the money, and you buy your new toy. That's ambitious, when you want something and you make it happen. Okay. Humorous. Humor is meant to be funny, right? And then humorous, us, means full of. So when something is humorous, it is full of humor. It's very funny. Say determined is similar to ambitious. When you're determined to do something, you are going to do it no matter what. Say, I want this, I'm gonna do it. I don't care what anyone else says. Okay, energetic is when you're full of energy. You're crazy. You have so much energy, you just like are doing things all the time. Confident is when I can do anything. I'm confident. Nothing can stop me. I'm gonna do it. Okay. Intelligent means very smart. What's this over here? Reliable. When you are reliable, people can rely on you. Say, I can ask this person to do something, and I know they're going to do it because they're reliable. You say yes, to doing something, you're definitely going to do it. Naive is when you don't have a lot of knowledge of something. So someone who is naive, they don't have a lot of experience. They haven't done many things. They don't know about a lot of different stuff. Okay, we're going to say, let's do self-confident, organized, outgoing, simple-minded. Simple-minded is similar to naive. When you're simple-minded, you don't have a lot of thoughts in your mind. I guess maybe a synonym for simple-minded would be, it's like a nice way of calling someone dumb or stupid. If you're simple-minded, you don't think about many different things, but it's like saying it in a nice way. Okay, so we can come back to this later if we have more time. So let's talk about our characters. So who is this character? Kang An. Who is this? You know it?
The father of Nemo.
Yes, the father of Nemo. Nemo's father, and his name is Marlin. Marlin, yes. This is Nemo's father. And then, who is this Goku? Who's this in the bottom?
What, teacher?
Do you see this fish at the bottom of the screen?
Yes.
What's his name?
His name is Nemo.
Nemo, yes. This fish here is Nemo. This is our main character. And who's this fish? Neymar, who is this guy? Or lady?
Marlin.
No, we have Marlin over on our left side here. So this is Nemo's dad, and then we have Nemo, and who's over here? Who might it be? Can you take a guess? We have Nemo's dad already. This might be Nemo's who?
Mom.
This is Nemo's mom. And Lisa, do you know Nemo's mom's name?
Her mom's name Coral.
Coral, right? This is Nemo's mom. Okay, so let's talk about words that can describe these characters. So how can we describe Marlin? Maradona, what can we say about Nemo's dad? What kind of fish is he? Are there any words here that describe Marlin?
Protective.
Yes, he is protective. Very good. So what does he do, Maradona, that tells us that he is a protective fish? Does he let Nemo do whatever he wants? So what does Marlin do that's very protective? Does he let Nemo do just whatever he feels like?
No.
Does he let Nemo cross the street by himself?
No.
When Nemo gets stuck, does he let Nemo get unstuck by himself, or does he have to help him?
Help him.
Okay, so we can say he's protective. And another word that we can also use is, look back here. So you have protective, which is just you want to protect someone. And then we also have overprotective, which means too protective, right? If someone is overprotective, then they don't let you do anything. They need to do everything for you, okay? So we can say he's protective and also overprotective. Okay. Does anyone else have a word to describe Marlin? Harry Kane, tell me. Is he an adventurous fish, or is he a bit careful?
Careful.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we can say that Marlin is a careful fish. And say, Sherry, are you there?
Yes.
Yes. Did you watch the first part of the movie?
Yes.
Yes. So why do we think Marlin is so protective and careful of Nemo? What happened to make him this way?
Because he didn't want Nemo. He wants Nemo have to save.
He wants Nemo to be safe, okay? And what happened to the rest of Marlin's family? To Coral and all of the other eggs, what happened to them?
The the other fish eat them all.
Yep, big fish, the barracuda, ate them all, right? So now he saw his wife, Coral, and all of his babies get eaten by this fish. Well, he didn't see it, but I guess he knew it happened. So now he is protective over Nemo, right? Because Nemo is his only baby left. Okay. What about Nemo? What are some words that we can use to describe Nemo? And Sophia, you can type these into the chat, and I will see them, and I'll write them out on the screen as well. Stuff for me. Courage. What kind of fish is Nemo? Is he a happy fish? Is he a sad fish? Is he an excited fish? Is he careful? Is he what is he?
Happy fish.
He's a happy fish. Okay. How does he feel about going to school? David, how does Nemo feel about going to school? Is he excited? Is he sad? Is he scared?
Excited.
He's an excited fish.
He curious.
And he's curious. All right, good job. So, what about Coral? How could we describe Nemo's mom? Let's see, Katie, how can we describe Nemo's mom? Did you watch the movie?
I just read a bit of the first scene.
Perfect, because the first scene's all we need right now. So, what does Nemo's mom do at the beginning of the movie? Does she just let the barracuda eat all of her eggs? What does she do?
Save them.
She tries to save them. So what word could we use to describe her?
Protective.
Okay, she's also protective. Very good. And let's see, what else can we say? Maradona, what other word can we use to describe Coral? She goes to fight the barracuda, even though the barracuda is very dangerous. So what could we say about her? When you do something that you know is dangerous. Brave. Very good. She is a brave fish. She's protective. She's brave. And what about when she's looking at all of her eggs? Chang'an? Is she excited to have all of her babies, or she doesn't care? How does Coral, Nemo's mom, feel about having all of those eggs, about having all the babies? Is she excited to have her babies?
Yes.
Yes. So, and she's talking about, look at them, they're dreaming. She's talking in a very loving way. Okay, so Coral's protective, she's brave, she's loving, all these things. Okay, so let's talk about some of our other characters. Okay, who is this guy? Alex, did you watch the movie?
I watched 27 minutes and 35 seconds.
Okay, who is this guy here? The big blue fish. Who's this? Remember?
No.
No? No. This is...
I watched Mr. Ray.
Yes, Mr. Ray is the teacher. Okay, and then we have, these guys are Nemo's friends. Okay, so let's look at our character relationship chart. So let's start with Marlin and Coral. Okay, so these are Nemo's parents, and their son is Nemo. Okay, so we have mom, dad, and son here. And then we have some of the other parents. Okay, so Sophia says Nemo is a happy fish, and Nemo's mom is happy to have all of her eggs, or she's excited to have her babies. Good job, Sophia. Okay, so then we have all the other parents here. Okay, so we have Nemo's parents, and then other parents, and then Nemo's classmates. Okay, so Nemo's classmates are the other fish that he goes to school with. Okay, so at home, you guys should have, if you don't already, make sure to get your movie study booklet printed. And then there's a page that you can cut out these pictures and glue them into this relationship chart. So relationships are how people or things are connected. Okay, so we have all of our arrows here. So parents going down to their kids. Okay, and then these are all the classmates here. And then we have our teacher, Mr. Ray. So this is our character relationship. So for homework today, so I want you to make sure if you have not watched the movie yet, please watch it today at 2 o'clock. And then for homework, you are going to get this is in your movie study booklet. Okay, so it's going to be a page like this, and you are going to match the pictures. So each character, you need to match them with their name. Okay, and then next to each picture, you need to tell me an adjective, right? At least one adjective or character trait for each character. Okay, 2 would be good. 1 if you can only think of 1.